Use the following results from a test for marijuana use, which is provided by a certain drug testing company. Among 144 subjects with positive test results, there are 27 false positive results. Among 153 negative results, there are 5 false negative results. If one of the test subjects is randomly selected, find the probability that the subject tested negative or did not use marijuana. Now, first thing we want to do is we want to construct a table. So we're going to first create and fill out a table with the values presented in the problem. So the first thing is we need to first write down here on a table, we have a row, and the title is actually use marijuana. We have either no or yes, and there's our total. So here we have a positive test result. This is a test that indicated that the subject used marijuana. So it says here among 144 subjects with positive test results. That means the total for that row is 144. Now, they also said that there are 27 false positive results, meaning that they actually use marijuana. Well, they had a positive result, but it was false. So therefore, that's where the 27 is. This is a false positive. Now we want to figure out what this number is. And to get this number, what we would have to do is take the following 144. So let me go ahead and do it on a calculator here. So we're going to take our 144 and we're going to subtract the 27. And that's going to give us 117. So over here, this is having a positive test result, and the test indicated that the subject used marijuana. Therefore, this is a true positive, and we have 117. Now, in the next sentence, it says among 153 negative results. So in this row here, this is the negative test result, which is a test that indicated the subject did not use marijuana. The total for that is 153. So over here to your right, we have the total of 153. Now, among those 153 negative results, there are 5 false negative results. Okay, so what that means is that did they actually use marijuana? Yes, but they had a negative test result. So that's considered a false negative. Therefore, this is where the 5 is going to go. Now we want to figure out what this value is. So we're going to take the 153 and subtract the 5. So if we take 153, subtract the 5, that's going to give us 148. Now 148 is going to be a true negative, meaning did they actually use marijuana? No, and their negative test result indicated the subject did not use marijuana. Now what we want to do is we can either find the total of the columns. We already have the total of the rows. So over here, if we add 27 with 148 for the no, that actually used marijuana, the answer was no. If we add those together, we get 175. If we add the column that says actually use marijuana, and that is yes, 117 plus 5 is equal to 122. Now, if we want to find the total, we can either add 144 plus 153, and that gives us 297, or if we added this last row. Okay, so again, we want to find if one of the test subjects is randomly selected, find the probability that the subject tested negative or did not use marijuana. So we're going to use the formal addition rule, where event A is the subject tested negative, event B is a subject that did not use marijuana, and the probability of A and B denotes the probability that A and B both occur at the same time as an outcome in a trial procedure, meaning that we don't want to count the value twice. So there's our formula. Probability of A or B is equal to the probability of A plus the probability of B minus the probability of A and B. Now, the first thing we want to do is add the total number of subjects who tested positive to the total number of subjects who tested negative. Okay, so that 144 plus 153 gives us 297. So therefore, we would say the following. We have the total, which is when you add these two numbers, it gives you 297. So therefore, that gives us the total number of subjects. Okay. Now, the next part is we want to find the probability that a randomly selected subject tested negative. So we need to find out which values tested negative. Well, we need to come back up here, right? And so how many, and in this case, what was the total that tested negative? Well, you can see here that that's 153 that tested negative. So we know that the total that tested negative is 153, and then it's going to be over the 297. So the probability of event A, which again is where the subject tested negative, is 153 over 297. Okay, now we want to find the number of subjects that did not use marijuana, and that's the probability of event B. So the two groups of subjects that did not use marijuana, the first group is the subjects with the true negative result, and the second group is the subjects with a false positive test result. So that means here is this is the column. So we have no, and within that no, we know that when you add 27 and 148, we get 175. So that means 148 plus 27 gives us 175. So now we want to find the probability that a randomly selected test subject did not use marijuana. So we're going to divide the total number of subjects that did not use marijuana by the total number of subjects in the study to find the probability that a randomly selected subject did not use marijuana. So the probability of B, meaning that the probability of the fact that they did not use marijuana. So we get 175, and we're dividing it again by the entire total, which is 297. Okay. Now we need to find the probability that a randomly selected test subject tested negative and did not use marijuana. So which value is that? We need to come back up here, okay, and look at our table. And in our table, okay, which is that did not actually use marijuana and tested negative. That is the true negative. So basically, that would be this result, because it's counted in the row and it's counted in the column, meaning that it's counted twice. And because it's counted twice in the column and in the row that we're using, we need to make sure that we subtract that result, which is why we get the following. The probability of A and B is equal to the probability that he tested negative and did not use marijuana is 148 over the 297. Now we can plug each one of these into the formula. So we know the probability of A or B is equal to the probability of A plus the probability of B minus the probability of A and B. So in this case here, we know the probability of event A was 153 over 297. Plus the probability of B is 175 over 297, and then we're subtracting the probability of A and B, which is 148 over 297. So now if we go ahead and combine those terms, 153 plus 175 minus 148 gives us 180, and divided by 297 gives us the following decimal. We round that to 3 decimal places, we get 0.606. Therefore, we would say the probability that it tested negative or did not use marijuana is 0.606.